and gentlemen, please welcome Ashish Khanna, President Renewables at Tata Power. He'll be addressing us on the topic, whitewater rafting in the VUCA world. Some of the leadership challenges that are arising during times of uncertainty. I'm sure all of us can benefit from it. Please welcome Ashish Khanna.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure here for me to address each one of you. I'm very conscious of the fact that you have many priorities in your own life, personal as well as official, and you have chosen to be here. I compliment you for your decision. I also compliment the organizer for setting it up. It is the best time to live and rethink, if you ask me. Re-envision, reinvent, and reset is something which we all should be doing or should have done by now. But even if we have not, it would be my personal request to each one of you to think on those lines in this forum and later. This pandemic has been unprecedented. None of us has ever thought that it will hit us in the manner it has hit us. Each one of us has been, to a large extent, aware of what is happening around in the world, and especially in China from where it originates. But now, when we look at the way it has transformed the whole world, is something which none of us were prepared in our business continuity plan and otherwise. But if you ask me today, and I reflect on it, I look at it as something like what has happened in World War II. There has been a great destruction. There has been a great level of anxieties. There has been a change in geopolitical environment of the world. So is the case now. It's not a physical destruction, but so much of mental and of course, human lives which has been sacrificed in this, and it is still going on. But if you look back in the history, after World War II, there has been resurgence. There were some countries, there were cultures who have risen beyond the level which were there even before World War II. I think for each one of us, especially you who are holding such responsible positions in your organization, this is a time to re-strategize. I would say that in some manner, this COVID has given us a new canvas. It is a canvas which was there with us, but has been vitiated to some extent and has been blurred in its reflection of the original painting, which we all were continuing to admire. But then now we have an opportunity. Each one of you has an opportunity to revisit and then take a decision whether we would like to restore this canvas or we would like to redraw altogether a different canvas. I think this opportunity which has come to each one of us is unprecedented. None of us were actually looking forward to it, but now it has come. And I think it's a great time that we take full advantage of this opportunity. This is also a time that when you will decide to either restore or redraw, you will be living a legacy and you will be leaving a legacy too. I think when you will be taking these decisions of redraw or restore, you have to take into consideration the short-term goals or the long-term goals. We have a tendency to come back quickly. Each one of us would like to come back to the normalcy of a pre-COVID era in our businesses, in our personal life. But that would be a very short-term thought process. We will be losing the opportunity of looking long-term. There are lots of lessons for each one of us in our functional areas, which has come across during this period. I think it is important that we take full advantage of it. Look at what has worked well for us. Also look at what does not work well for us. We are at that position of a vulnerability where if we are transparent, honest, and introspect as an individual and as a team, There will be great findings which will come out. These findings, if acted upon well, can be strategized for a very long-term and sustainable growth for our organization. I can give you my own example. In FY 15, I was asked to head a company which was in a cash loss. It was not that the team was not doing well, but for many years, we were in losses. At that time, the team was doing everything which was possible, was primarily continuing with the earlier businesses, and we're trying to fine tune within that. When I took over, we as a team took a mandate to see what is working well for us and what is not working well for us. We realized that there are so many businesses which others are doing well, but we have not been able to manage to do well. And then when we go deep into it, we realize that there are certain inherent weaknesses in us as an organization and as a team, which is the main cause of non-performance by the complete organization. We redraw at that particular time. We realize our vulnerabilities. We accept our vulnerabilities. We were honest about it. And then when we redraw, we re-strategize. We looked at what is going to work for next 5 years and then maybe for 25 years, but the 5 years were very, very crucial for us. We looked at how the environment is changing. When we were in the past working on those businesses, it was only incremental changes which we were addressing. We looked at certain major changes which has happened in the last 5 years and then compressed them into 5-minute period and realized that there are certain opportunities which we have missed and the opportunities which we were pursuing has not helped us. We, along with the team, had a strategy then to go into some other businesses and continue those which were doing well. Letting go of some businesses which was a legacy from last 25 years was the most difficult task. Take my word, it took a lot of strength to accept that what has worked for 25 years is not going to work for the next 5 and 25 years. But today when I look back after 5 years, I'm so pleased with the performance of the team. Today, from the time of FY 15, by the end of this particular financial year, we would be virtually 10x in our growth of revenues. From a cash loss, a bit of minus company, it is a wonderful 3-digit PAT positive company now. But another lesson which I learned in the process is that once we have this transformation after 1 to 2 years, while the revenues have jumped well after 2 years, but the employee engagement has gone low. It hit me coming out of blow. I couldn't able to comprehend that how it is possible that when we were making losses compared to when we are making profits, the employee engagement has gone low. We again went back to the drawing board, realized what is not working. And take my word, what was not working is like people like you and me, the CXO, CIOs, CFOs, CEOs, have certain thought process and was pushing that thought process without communicating well with the team that why it will work, why should they stretch themselves out, why should they be retrained, what are the challenges they are facing. And we realized in the absence of this important communication, while the company was doing well in a short term of 2 years, the employees were not as engaged. We again went into a vulnerability state and then have a major communications, which we still continue now. We talk about our weaknesses. We talk about where the strengths of our competitors are. We also spoke about the opportunities which we see as a management team. Have a candid discussion, which we continue every month from that day onwards till date. Believe me, this communication has helped this organization immensely. I've also seen that in the last 6 months, the anxiety levels of those who are working from home, the anxiety levels of those who are taking care of their elder parents, the anxiety level of those who have a small house and 2 working people, the anxiety level of those whose total process has changed has been very high. I have also realized that in this particular period, engaging with them is very important. And the best thing which has helped us is the technology. Take my word, the technology has helped us beyond the level when we took that decisions of investing in those technologies. The ROIs are very different. This is the time I realized that these ROIs should not be viewed only from how the revenue or the profit will increase by the digitization. These ROIs should also be looked from a human perspective. Is it going to help the humans? Is it going to help my employees? Is it going to add their work or is it going to reduce their work? And above all, is digitization helping me to communicate properly? I've realized in the last 6 months, our investment on digitization, our investment of technology have paid us immensely, whether it is our operations or it is execution, and above all, our communication with the employees. This is something which I would strongly suggest each one of you to take it forward. The lessons of our life of 2020 should be the most important lessons in our organization stay. Like I said before, we are going to now redraw the strategies. We are going to now at the position where we are going to leave a legacy, which the next generation in the next decades and decades to come will look at us. Our decision at this stage are very important for the continuity of our organization, on the profitability of our organization, and above all, in the long-term sustainable solutions for each one of us. I once again thank each one of you of prioritizing your time for this particular initiative. Thank you.